the Prophet talked about how prior to the appearance of the Masih ad-Dajjal, that there would be 3 years of drought and famine. So he says in this hadith that the first year, Allah will command the sky to reduce 1/3 of his rain and the earth to reduce 1/3 of his crops. In the second year, it will be 2/3. And in the third year, all will be withheld. No rain, no drought. The Sahaba, listening to the Prophet ﷺ speaking this way, they went on and said, فَمَا يَعِيشُ النَّاسِ فِي ذَلِكَ الزَّمَانِ. What will nourish the people during that time if there's no food and there's no drink? And then the Prophet's response was, التهليل والتكبير والتسبيح. Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, wa subhanallah. In other words, to say that our food will be the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that time. يُجْرَى ذَلِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ مَجْرَى الطَّعَامِ. He said, and that will flow down the same track of food for the people. So it's really amazing hadith, about like a miracle of the future. I mean, I don't want to be here during that time, right? But because I don't want to feel like I'm starving either, right? But it's really amazing too that one glimmer of hope is that if you happen to be on the earth when the Masih ad-Dajjal appears, then eventually what will happen is, if this hadith is true, then something like this will happen. So will it be a natural famine and drought, or is it someone who are trying to create the conditions for this to occur? And so if you have people who have developed technologies to make fertile land infertile, technology to make it rain, and people are buying up farmland with some attempt to control most of the food that we eat, I don't know. It could be that someone's trying to create conditions for that to occur. Right, and again, this is sort of like a look at some of the institutions we actually have today, which have these technologies like NASA, DARPA, NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, HARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. There are a lot of technologies that they have which make it possible for them to do some of these things that we find mentioned in the Hadith, if we say that these are not miraculous things. There could be some miracles, some miracles, and others are not miraculous, right? But understand there's going to be a lot of manipulation. If we live in a time of deep fakes, of AI becoming much more advanced. There are fake people, AI accounts on the internet that people follow and they think that they're real people, right? Yeah, right. It's really amazing, a lot of things that are happening right now. And so the more we are on and sort of plugged in to the internet, the web, the World Wide Web, right? And the web sort of, you get stuck in the web, right? Then the more we are open to, I would say, this sort of manipulation. So these are just a few books that I would recommend that you have a chance to read. I think actually the first one is most important. The Fourth Industrial Revolution is more important than the other two, because the Fourth Industrial Revolution is what they say the process we're going through right now, right? The Fourth Industrial Revolution, with everything happening, quantum computing, AI, self-driving cars, these advancements in medical research and technologies, that this is the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And they predict in this book that by 2030, about 45% of all the white-collar jobs are going to be gone. And then people are going to have to be placed on what we call basic, universal basic income, UBI, where people who don't have jobs or they don't have anything useful they're doing, they can just be taking money from the government. They're going to be relied on the government. And then if we add on top of this into something I didn't talk about, which is what we call central bank digital currencies, right? So all the countries, at least in the West right now, are racing to create what are called central bank digital currencies, electronic programmable money, right? And the fear is that once this system goes into place, then with the programmable money, they'll be able to pretty much enslave you, Right? They're going to phase out cash, right? And every time you want to purchase something, the government's going to know everything that you bought, everything that you want to buy as well. And they can decide, well, if you had too much meat this week, no more meat for you this week, right? Or maybe they find you something you said on the internet they didn't like. They say, oh, you know what? You can't travel for a month. They ban you from traveling because you're going to need your electronic currency in order to buy a ticket on the train ticket or a plane ticket. You can't fly. You can't go here. You go there. In COVID-19, the Great Reset, there are three fundamental things that I say are important from that book, which is that, and this came out in 2020 by Klaus Schwab, who was the founder of the World Economic Forum. And he talked about that how the COVID wasn't that serious of a thing, but we're going to take advantage. It's an opportunity for us to usher in the fourth industrial revolution. So we have to expand government power. We have to reduce freedom, right? And we also have to reduce movement, right, of people, right? And again, electric cars are nice, right? But I think that electric cars play more than one role. I mean, you may be fascinated by Teslas, and it's like having an iPhone, right? Having your own Tesla, but unlike Tesla, most people are not going to be able to afford Teslas, because the type of cars that most people will be able to afford are going to be cars that really can't go that far. So it's most likely that if it is mandated that cars all have to be electric, it's going to serve the purpose of is stated in the COVID-19 Great Reset.